village of Eyam sat quiet under the darkening sky, its thatched roofs nestled into the green Derbyshire hills. The year was 1666, and the air was thick with the scent of burning herbs, the villagers' last desperate attempt to cleanse the air. A sickness had come, one whispered to be born of the devil himself. It began with a bolt of cloth. A tailor, George Vicars, had received the shipment from London, shaking it out by the fire to inspect the fabric. Within days he was dead. His body had darkened with swollen buboes, his breath rattling as his wife wept beside him. Soon after, the sickness spread like wildfire, claiming the baker, the blacksmith's son, the old widow who lived on the hill. The rector, William Mompesson, knew what must be done. He gathered the villagers in the churchyard, standing upon a gravestone as he spoke. "We must not let this evil pass beyond our borders," he said, his voice carrying across the silent congregation. "We will quarantine ourselves. None shall leave until this plague has finished its dark work." Gasps rippled through the crowd. To stay was death, to flee was survival. Yet Mompesson's words held them, his steady gaze firm. His wife, Catherine, took his hand in silent support, though her face was pale. Weeks passed, then months. Graves filled the churchyard, then the fields beyond. Men buried their own children. Women laid their husbands in the earth. Some refused to dig, leaving their dead in the streets. The smell of rot thickened the air. One by one, the village faded. Elizabeth Hancock lost her husband and 6 children in a week. She dragged each of them to their graves with her own hands, her fingers raw and bleeding as she shoveled dirt over their stiffening forms. Mompesson's own wife fell ill in the summer. He watched as the fever consumed her, her once warm hands turning cold in his grasp. He whispered prayers, but the Lord did not answer. She died at dawn. By the year's end, 2/3 of the village was gone. But the sacrifice had worked. The plague never spread beyond Eyam. The village was a tomb, but Derbyshire remained safe. As the first snow fell, the survivors emerged, hollow-eyed and gaunt. They had done what few could. They had faced death, embraced it, and held it at bay. The world beyond their village had continued on, unaware of the horror contained within their borders. But those who lived, they would never forget.